Folks, Chad and I met on campus at a pivotal period for him when Chad was undergoing a transformation to understand his true purpose, to have greater impact on the world. He is the first blind person to complete a program from Harvard Business School, a leadership program, to develop software Oracle said was impossible, and generated countless jobs and billions of dollars in the business world. He has spoken internationally to leaders from organizations that include Bank of America, Google, GE, and Microsoft. Becoming an avid snow skier after he lost his sight, Chad challenges traditional ideas of peak performance and change while showing you how to take advantage of your disadvantages. His tough-minded, matter-of-fact attitude has helped him develop what he calls blind ambition. Please give a warm welcome to Chad Foster. I'm excited about this session, everyone. Chad, welcome.
Thank you, Boris. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, you may have gathered by now that I'm very ambitious, but ambition alone is not enough. You have to take advantage of your disadvantages. I personally have a knack for looking through large piles of data and extracting things that make money. I'm kind of like a dumpster diver. I go into a back alley somewhere, except I come out with a complete filet mignon and baked potato, and sometimes even a bottle of red wine. It's amazing how many treasures you can find when you're not blinded by the trash. You have to take advantage of your disadvantages. We go out to eat most every Friday night, and there's usually a very long wait. The host greets us and says, "I'm sorry, sir, but there's a 1.5 hour wait." I said, "Hey, that's no problem. I'll just wait right here." And I sit down in the middle of the waiting room with my giant German Shepherd. And without fail, soon someone pops up and says, "Excuse me, sir, but we actually have a table for you right now. So if we can get you and your big scary wolf dog out of the waiting room right now, we have a table waiting for you." Let's face it, I could easily pass for a police officer searching for bombs, which means I will always be seated before you. The people who win consistently, regardless of circumstances, know how to turn their disadvantages into advantages. Bottom line is I may be blind, but I'm never hungry. One time when interviewing for a senior pricing position, the hiring VP and I were discussing advanced consumption concepts and the complex financial models that I used when he very curiously asked me, "Chad, you could really do all this?" I told him, "Ben, this stuff is so easy I can do it with my eyes closed." And then after being hired, he and I were negotiating a $200 million deal with the FBI when we walked into this large conference room flanked by attorneys. And as soon as we walk in, everybody takes one look at my dog, and immediately you hear everyone say, "Aw." Needless to say, when you negotiate with the FBI, it's very important to have an advantage. I recommend using a disarming four-legged friend. But it's interesting how some people think. I remember one time I was at the mall when a lady asked me if I was training the dog. And I said, "No, dog's trained. He's a service dog." And she said, "Well, what's the service?" And I sat there for a minute and said, "Well, I'm blind. He guides me." She takes a long pause and looks back at me and says, "Yeah, but you don't look blind." And this time I couldn't resist. So I said, "Oh, thank you. And you don't look stupid." I'm still trying to have compassion for those who let their eyesight impair their judgment. Another time a guy comes up and says, "Hey, is that one of those blind dogs?" I said, "Oh God, I hope not. If we are both blind, I am screwed." I'm all in though. I went to a professional football game one time and had way too much to drink. And after the game, I thought it would be fun to ride a mechanical bull. Rather ambitious. To be honest with you, I could not even tell when the bull began to spin because I was already spinning when I got on the bull. I ended up crashing through a table and beer went everywhere. And that's when I learned that being blind drunk and being a drunk blind guy are not at all the same thing. Also enjoy downhill skiing. And there are a lot of people who are absolutely terrified when they look downhill from 13,000 feet. But it doesn't faze me. I just don't see what the big deal is all about. And believe it or not, I like to do a little yard work. I like to mow the lawn and do a little trimming. And I like yard work a lot because I'm ambitious, but it clearly makes my neighbors uncomfortable. Ambition is important, but you have to tell yourself the right stories while taking advantage of your disadvantages. But if you're willing to accept less than your definition of success, then these are worthless. In order to achieve our goals, we must refuse to be denied. Are you willing to accept less than your goal? If you are, then you should expect failure. Those who are successful in life refuse to be denied. They demand greatness from themselves and from those around them. I refuse to live my life according to other people's expectations of what they think I can do. I refuse to live my life in fear. I refuse to let my lack of eyesight limit my vision. You may call it blind ambition, but I call it life. Thank you. I'm Chad Foster.